welcome to the Thanks for This Game Show. My name is Tim Stewart and I'm your host. And tonight we have our usual squad on, but we've also got Tom King from Newport County on. We did actually have him on transfer deadline day, but if anyone tried to tune in on a Tom King video, it actually only lasted 1 minute and then switched off. And I didn't realise that until I went to upload it onto YouTube and then realised that there was no Tom King interview, which was devastating because it was really good. He was a top guy. So we're going to get him on today again to speak about a little bit more in depth about Tom, about his career and just how he got on and how he's got on since the world record longest goal in world football. But first of all, let's say hello to our panel. On my top right tonight, we've got Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Evening. Yeah, good, thanks. You all right?
And on my bottom right, we have Nathan Ellington. How you doing, Nathan?
Not too bad. I'm all right.
Not too bad. All right. And then our bottom left, we have our chief scout, Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Hello, everybody. Someone be on later, but you've got the real King here now.
Oh, hey! He had that one ready, didn't he? He had that one ready. Boom, boom. All right, let's crack on. Nathan, when I saw, because I didn't even see the Man United score during the week, but I was just checking the highlights of another game, and I saw 9-0 Man United Southampton, and I thought it was a youth team game. So I clicked on it, and I was like, no way, no. Man United didn't win 9-0. No, I've got to have Nathan on the show on Sunday. They didn't win 9-0, but they did. What? You must have been flying at that point.
Man, you know, the minute we went 1-0 up after 2 minutes, I felt we've got to get that first goal. If we get that first goal, we're going to be plain sailing here. And because I knew it's either going to be a tight one, and then, but then obviously when that happened, and then we got our first goal, I was like, you know what, we're on it here. We're actually playing football. We're keeping the ball. We're pressuring them high up, and we're actually going side to side and getting balls in. And you've got Cavani in there who's moving like mad to make sure he can get a chance. So we played some great stuff, and we just didn't let up at all. And I was just so pleased to see that a team sitting back that much was able to break them down the way we did. And to get 9, obviously, you know, there's this, you just got to say, was an amazing day. Even against 10 men, you wouldn't expect United to do that.
But still, you could be up against 10 men, but to put 9 past the Premier League team, it's still big. It's still breaking records there.
Exactly my point. It's what more can you ask for? You know, all the boys, they actually just did everything they had to do. They worked hard as possible in making sure that they made the extra man count, like at all times. We lost it. We pressured them so quickly. We got it back within a few seconds every time. And was just back on it, and just making sure that they were just, you know, using their energy up. And before you know it, they got knackered, and our quality did shine through that day.
But it's that ruthlessness that every team needs to. Just full stop. Every team needs that. If you feel like if teams are kind of winning games and sort of backing off, that doesn't help them in other situations when they might need that goal. It's good. It's good to just keep on going and going and going and going.
Well, with where United's been this season, that's one thing that we weren't so good at. So to know that we had 88 minutes to really work on it in a real game, that's what they did. They just worked on it. And I think, like I said, sure, he's learned a lot from Telles, I'm quite sure, in terms of going forward, because he's now putting balls in from early and he's curling around the corners. He's dinking them in. He's doing the same. And so is Wan-Bissaka. He's now doing the same. So he's even getting the balls across the floor the way Valencia used to do, obviously because he didn't really have that great curled cross. So he has something else where he can still find people. And I think even Cavani should have scored again the other day from a Wan-Bissaka cross on the floor, even against Everton. So, you know, we're doing well with the fullbacks now. Like I said, we're just missing that. I'll actually mention that about the defensive side. Obviously, when we get to Everton game, I guess.
Yeah, but another thing that in that game as well, in a 9-0 victory, you had 8 different scorers, and that's massively important.
Yeah.
To get you to be thinking that Cavani's going to be macking in with 2.
Yeah.
Martial got
got
2,
his 2,
but Rashford you would have expected, Fernandes, but that wasn't the case. The goals were spread around everywhere. Wan-Bissaka got a goal. There was the unfortunate own goal. McTominay got a goal. Daniel James got a goal.
Yeah.
So this will help them too, and especially people like Wan-Bissaka. He needs to start getting in goals, because getting goals from that fullback position, that's going to elevate you as well.
Yeah, definitely with him, because obviously everyone just says he's just great defensively, and now he wants to build that side up now, where they can say, you know what, you got both sides to your game now. Now you can get in the England side because of that side as well. Because we all know he's the best defensively in any right backs in the league. But when you want to go forward now, let's see him now get some assists. He's got a few assists now this season. If he keeps going, he's got 1 goal and a few assists. So let him keep going and get where he needs to go. And hopefully, before you know it, you have Shaw and Wan-Bissaka on either side of the fullbacks for England. So, and you maybe even have Maguire at centre back. So it's crazy. So what could be possible?
Cool, yeah.
And then Man United go and get a lead against Everton, and then throw it away. What happened?
What happened is we really played really well. But like we've always said, our centre backs are actually around about that level. So that's them playing at their level. And when you play against teams that are around that level, you're going to concede goals because they're not the elite type of defensive. Any team that's in the top 2, top 3, that goes 2-0 up at home, even if they get 2 back and we go ahead again, they don't let these goals in. They're easy goals. They're simple goals that you don't expect to happen if you want to go and win leagues or go in the Champions League and try and win things. This is my point. These 2 centre-backs are not good enough for that level. They're good enough for a Leicester that might win the odd game here and there. But let's say they're playing against a Liverpool, a City, any of them teams, when them players are inside them teams, they're letting goals, but nobody says anything because that's what they're supposed to do. That's the level that they're at. That's what we've got. We've got players now, we're getting better, but the reality is we just don't have that elite defence yet. That's one thing we need to improve. Whether it's adding someone to join Maguire now, because obviously they've chosen Maguire to be the main guy. So now we need someone to be the main guy, then Maguire's the guy behind him, following what the main guy's doing. Then I think we will be different. Just like when Bailly plays, it just unfortunately it just can't stay fit for any reasons, I don't know. But if he stays, we don't let him 3 goals yesterday. We just don't. We played good football. We actually kept the ball, popped it around. I was loving that front 4. You know, like Bruno, Rashford, Cavani. That is like, it was amazing. The work rate, the movement, the touches, 1 touch off. It was just looking great. And then Shaw getting up and Wan-Bissaka getting up. Pogba playing well till he come off. So we were playing good stuff. And like I said, we wasn't even pressured defensively up until they got a few the first time they attacked our goal, they get a goal. Then to top it off, De Gea starts playing around again. So I don't know what he's doing. First of all, Maguire for the first goal. I'm not even for the first goal. Maguire I think he got torn apart by Calvert-Lewin for pace. And this just shouldn't happen. If it's not someone else, that doesn't happen. And then obviously last kick of the game, you've got the ball dropping in the box, and I'm like, De Gea, what you doing? Like, why aren't you coming out? What are you standing still for? It's like one of them FIFA glitches. You're like, what's my keeper doing? You know, like, why is he not moving? And it's just like, he got on the ball and just slipped it in. I'm like, man, De Gea, it's the last kick of the game. We're trying to win, you know? What's going on? So, it was a beautiful thing because he was playing okay as well. And then all of a sudden, he drops a blunder like that. So, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Frustrating as it's like 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
But at the same time, it's where we are. So I can't be complaining too much because we're not expected to win the league. We're up there because we've sort of done well and other teams have not done well. We're nowhere near it yet. We're nowhere near City's level, and we're nowhere near Liverpool, even though they're faltering. We're similar to Liverpool at faltering stage.
Yeah.
We're at our best, and they're at faltering, and they're just above us, or maybe the same. So you know what? We got a few more steps to go to get where we need to go, but we're heading in the right direction. That's for sure.
Well, one of the things that people keep on throwing about is that Man United have not got any points off the teams in the top 4, or have not got this and not got that, and it's one to say, but I mean, when you really look at it, you can say Man United have not taken 3 points off the teams from the top 4, but Man United are taking points from the teams from the top 4, and they're not dropping too many points. The thing is, okay, they dropped points against Arsenal. Arsenal haven't been in the top 4 for about 5 years, so that's not even one of them. Tottenham, you lost to Tottenham, but there's other games in and around that if this is happening to my team, I'm looking at these other games. I'm looking at the draw against Southampton, the draw against West Ham. I'm looking at the draw against Everton yesterday, the draw against Leicester, and the loss against Sheffield United. That's like 12 points from teams that you should be getting points off, not necessarily teams that you are teams in and around you. They're the teams that I could say you could just get a draw from and then win the rest of the games. So they've not won against the top 4. It's just, I think it's just an easy point to make, which doesn't really have too many arguments around it. But like I said, it's about not dropping points to them teams.
Don't you think football's changed though in the last few years now, where that not taking points off the top ones is getting a little bit,
you know what?
Not there anymore.
It's not important because there's so many other teams.
They're sitting second. So if someone says, if I'm a Man United bubble, Nathan is. So someone says to you, well, you're not taking points off of so and so and so and so. Just if a Liverpool fan says it to you, for instance, you say, well, where are you and where am I? We're sitting second, 5 points behind City. So I think the growth of teams now in the Premiership and how they've sort of got better over the years, I think that argument now is
a nonsense argument.
It's slowly going out.
Yeah.
But what, the way I see it is, look, when you're trying to win the league, last year, I remember we beat the big teams, but we lost against the little teams. Mm-hmm. This year it's roles reversed. We're losing to the teams we shouldn't be beating, we should be beating, and then we're losing to the teams like Crystal Palace, which we should go and win, and Sheffield we should go and win. And if you win them games, you're up there. So if you don't win the big games and you win them games, you're top. Mm-hmm. But that's why we're not where we are, because we're not winning them big games and we're not winning all of them little games. So you've got both now. We're kind of, it's like, obviously we win the majority of the lesser games, but it's like the games where you expect us to be nailed on to win. We've gone and lost them games this season. And if we did, we'd be actually joint top right now. So that's the problem that's hurting us. But again,
so even though you say Man United they're not ready for the title this year. It's not their time. It's too early. You're just in the situation. Is it over? Is All day.
All day.
Is that
Listen,
are you saying that? Are you saying that as a sort of buffer to your fandom, or are you saying that because like it's genuinely over? Because if you're still talking about Liverpool in a title race,
they're not in the title.
Then Man United are in this title race.
Liverpool are not in the title race.
So it's Man City's. So it's Man City's.
Yeah, the minute Van Dijk got injured, and then the other players got injured, there was no title race anymore for Liverpool versus City. The thing is, it was only a title race at the start of the season because City weren't playing well. And then there was no really, and then Liverpool stopped playing so well. The minute they won the league, they dropped off. Then the minute they got Virgil injured, then I knew they're going to lose more games than normal. And it's come clear now. And then obviously more pressure on the attackers. Now to win games, they're struggling. So to be fair, I'm saying City are so well equipped right now. They don't even have a striker, and they're winning games with no goals against all the time, pretty much. 10 games on the trot. They ain't gonna let up. No one's going to catch them. United are far behind already. Who's next? Liverpool. They're still faltering, so they're going to lose the 2-3 more games this season. So who's going to catch them? United, eh? That's for sure.
Right, and crown the Premier League champions.
Doesn't it? It only takes a couple of games.
It does.
But they're not going to lose a couple games.
No, they're not. They're not. Look, I've got to put these questions to you. I've got to put these questions to you. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't be a host. But yeah, it's Man City's. There was a little bit. Look, for the last few weeks, when I've been asked about Man United, I've said I can't see City going all the way without using a striker. And the way that Man United have come together, I could see it going to the end, and I could see Man United doing something. But I swear, since them words left my mouth, Man United have shown no consistency.
If Kevin De Bruyne got injured, he isn't he?
Who?
Yeah, he didn't even play today. He didn't even play today, De Bruyne.
I mean, if Kevin De Bruyne gets injured, you got to... No, he did. He's not playing. He's not playing.
They played Foden up front. They played Foden up front today, Man City.
They're taking the mick.
You see his goal? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's a different class.
Unbelievable. So they're on fire.
I think the good thing about Man United, though, is that I think they're finding out their weaknesses now. I think they're getting... Solskjaer knows who's the best left back, who's the best right back, who's the best centre midfield, who's the best up front.
Yeah.
And
I think
for sure. And it's all... Yeah,
the combinations that work.
And now he's looking at the centre backs and he's thinking, right,
change.
Okay, all right now, you're my weaknesses now.
Yeah.
I've got to sort
I think 3 players, and I'm happy. Can you guess who my 3 players are to add to this side, and I'm happy?
Jack Grealish.
Number 1.
Upper Meccano.
Number 2.
Come on, Steve. What you got for me?
See if you've got
do you know what?
He's a central striker, scores plenty goals, and he plays in England.
Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I feel like I've won something. I've been
talking to people like last few while before we come on tonight, and I can't find someone solidly linked a centre back with Manchester United. Yeah. Which is, I don't know if it's worrying. I don't know if it's good that they're keeping something a secret.
No, it's probably worrying, Steve, if I'm honest, because if you know about Man United, if you've seen Man United, apart from the Donny van der Beek thing, everything's generally been quite out in the open.
Yeah. I mean, there's one in the papers today, a Serbian guy. I'll tell you his name. He's in the newspapers today. I can't remember his name, but he plays for Fiorentina. But he's, I found out just before we came on that was Jose's signing, that he was after last year. So
if he's not quick, I don't want him.
Yeah, it's probably they're using the old link because they haven't got a new one. We are joined by Tom King of Newport County. How you doing, Tom?
How's it going? Evening, guys.
I didn't interrupt that conversation there, did I?
No, absolutely. I've got a Chelsea game on in the background. So yeah,
what's the score?
Watch, yeah.
What's the score?
1-0 Chelsea still.
Chelsea. Yeah.
All right. How you been?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, good win yesterday for the lads and that. So
good
on a high.
Really good win yesterday, Ian.
Yeah, really good win, mate. Yeah, obviously going down to 10 men. 1-0 at home to a really resilient Grimsby Town team who have made a lot of signings in the January transfer window. So, new manager, they were buzzing off that. So, good to get the 3 points, but we'll be looking to build on that now. And obviously that stops a rut of a 10-game without a win streak. So hopefully we can kick on now. We've got another massive game at home to Southend on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, so up to 4th in the league now. New signing Nicky Maynard scored in his debut. How much of that's what I thought when I saw that. I was like, I remember from back in the day at Crewe. So how much of an influence and an impact has he? I mean, all impact already, but how much of influence do you have in the dressing room and on the training ground?
Yeah, Nicky's been great. He's come in, he slipped right in. I mean, even from his first training session, you could tell this is someone that's played at the highest level of the game. He's been around some great players in his career, and hopefully we can nick a few goals out of him this season, and he can carry on his goal scoring form.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if you heard or Steve spoke to you about it, but the other day when you was on, there was some form of glitch and the whole stream went, nothing uploaded. Everything you said was disappeared.
Oh, nice.
Mate, it was so distressing because I was like, Tom King was good, weren't he? Like I went to upload it, boom, it gave me not even a minute, and then the thing disappeared. I was like, oh, I've got to get him on again. So if I'm going to ask you some of the same questions, but it's all good because no one else knows about them. No one knows the answers.
Good stuff.
So it's just about your world record goal. What's changed since you scored that goal? How good was that feeling as well when you scored it?
Yeah, obviously I've had a lot of the aftermath of it now, and I've done a lot more interviews, and it's kind of sunk in what's really happened now. And unfortunately, I've actually lost my place in the team since then as well, since you last spoke. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks for me, really. Obviously, to go from 3 or 4 days before that playing against Brighton on TV, probably arguably the best performance of my career so far to date. Obviously, the goal 4 days later, and then 2 weeks later to unfortunately find myself out of the team at the manager's discretion. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks. That kind of humbled a lot of the praise I was getting after that. But no, like I said, I've repeated it many times. Like, goalie's job is to keep him out of the net, and my full focus was on that. And I'll be looking to get back in the team as soon as possible, and maybe stay away from my goal scoring exploits and get back to my goal saving exploits.
Yeah, maybe the strikers had a word and didn't really want you playing.
Taking the shine up on when I take the shine.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know what? I saw the goal again the other day, and I thought your celebration was a bit like I'm going to play it cool, because we don't know how to celebrate. We're not used to it, but we scored. You kind of played it cool. Gave it one of them and like stepped back, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I would have done it myself. Or I say that, but I probably would have just lost my mind. I see that we look back at your youth playing career. You was at Crystal Palace, Portsmouth, and I see you was at Manchester United, Gibraltar. How did that come about?
Yeah, so that's a club that's got like not as close affiliations as the name would give off, but they're the only club that Manchester United have allowed to use their actual name in the entire world, basically. So they're a club that's they're a club that's loosely affiliated, but there's no sort of like parent sister club and stuff like that. But no, my stepdad was in the Navy, so we got transferred out there when I was 9 years old, and there was a combined services team, but obviously me being me, as you can see from my career path, I've chosen to be the lone sheep wherever I go. So I thought I'd go and try something new, get to learn some of the locals. We were obviously planning to be there for a few years, so I thought, there's no point playing in a football team where the 15 lads who go to my school play for. I might as well go and learn some new people, try and pick up as much of a new language as possible as well. And,
can you speak Jib?
Try my hand at something else. Jib, yeah, no, it's just a mix of English and Spanish. It depends. If they're saying something horrible about you, it's Spanish, and if they're being nice to you, it's English. So yeah, you learn the swear words pretty quickly. The day-to-day combo is
a I've been over there a few times because my mum lives over there. So
beautiful.
I love it over there. It's really nice. I also see you was at Millwall and Welling. Welling is my local team. I played down there a few times as well. How was your experience at Welling?
Unbelievable, mate. My first taste of men's football. Obviously, Nate will tell you that first taste is like sink or swim.
The stands.
I mean? Like, there's no middle ground when it comes to your first loan and your first taste of men's football. Unfortunately for me, like, I won't look back on that as like the best 3 or 4 months of my career, but in terms of how much I learned about the game, about the pressure on people's jobs, I was part of a team that started off quite well and then fell off towards the end of my loan period there in the January. But no, it was unbelievable. You learn about standards, and obviously I was at a League One club at the time. And you learn about like taking your own standards into the training with the semi-professional boys every day, keeping your bar high, the way you eat, the way you train, the way you look after yourself. It's so easy to slip into that non-league almost mentality. I don't want to be too disrespectful there to the boys that are playing down there. I know there's a lot of boys that are obviously very close to the professional game and would argue that if it wasn't for their full-time jobs, they could be playing in a professional game as well if it wasn't down to the money situation. So, but no, it's all about you keeping your young standards as a young lad, and you don't want to be influenced too much by maybe some of the older boys who are coming towards the end of their career, and you've got to try and see the bigger picture and learn from that as quickly as possible, which I managed to do. Yeah,
it's great character building as well. Like, the fans are right on top of you. It's nice. It's good. It's good for you. And I see you England under 17s, and then you got the big call up to Wales. I mean, that must have been one of the most honourable times of your footballing career.
100%. I mean, along with the League One playoff final, which I wasn't fortunate enough to play in, it's probably the proudest day of my footballing career. Getting the call from Giggs was just unbelievable. Something that I never could have even dreamed in my wildest dreams. Almost. I mean, it was I think it was like the first or second pre-season game where a member of staff at Newport pulled me and said, "Oh, like there's some people that would like to see your mum's birth certificate. They know that she was born in Wales, etc." And I just kind of like ushered it away, and I was trying to focus. I think we were playing Hereford or something at the time, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, whatever, like no problem, I'll get that." Thinking, all right, and then she's pestering me, and I'm just thinking, all right, maybe 2 or 3 years if I can get my feet under the table here, do well. But
you're thinking long term, and people are asking you to play.
I know, they're like, "Oh no, like seriously, they want confirmation," and I'm like, "Yeah, all right, is it some sort of one? Like, who's put you up to this?" Do you know what I mean? So. But no, unfortunately for me, really, I think at the time Danny Ward was his wife was pregnant and stuff, and I got my opportunity through that. So, it was an unbelievable experience, and then to do it this last November as well. I mean, the circumstances were unbelievable. Really, it wasn't in the Newport team at the time, and still selected for my country. So it goes to show that what they see in me and the potential that they see to try and help me learn and help me grow as a player.
Yeah, and like you said, it must really give you that motivation to sort of, like, especially in times like this when there's only one position for goalkeepers. We ain't got that other option. You're a goalkeeper, or you're playing, or you're on the bench. So it's you've got to have the character you've got to have as a goalkeeper, and this must give you that motivation that you can play at a level that you know that you've got something that your national team would want.
Of course, yeah, no, it's a complete shot in the arm, mate. It's like you come back a new man, you come back a different player. I mean, the 2 weeks that I was away, both times, I learned more in those 2 weeks than I have probably done 2, 3, 4 years of my career. Mm-hmm. You're up against these people who are elite athletes, elite professionals, and at the very, very top of the game. I mean, I'm not going to obviously name drop. You can all look at the Wales squad for yourselves, but you be around them boys. You're only picking up positives. When people say, like, you don't have to copy these people, but you take what you want to take, and you try and improve yourself for that. And if it works for you, then you found a new method. And if it doesn't work for you, then you just like leave that behind. So no, for me, that was unbelievable to see those boys.
That's
I was just gonna quick message. Obviously, want to say, obviously you're playing with 2 players I used to play with. Not sure if you know, but
go on.
You're playing with one, and one of them's your manager. So.
Oh, right, yeah, nice. Maybe you can have a word with him about why I've been struggling.
So you got Billy there. He used to be with me when I was at Wigan the season we went up. So
right.
Obviously in the squad. And then you've got Josh Ladderby, who was a youngster when I was at West Brom. So
no way, yeah. Josh actually stays with me a few nights a week. So I'll be sure to let him know that I've said hello. Yeah. Yeah, he's not here right now, thank God. Otherwise, he'd be in the back pestering me. But yeah, no, he said hello.
Oh, quality. So, have you had any messages from any random messages from any famous people congratulating you on your world record win?
No, not really as yet. I've had a few, like I've been tagged in a few tweets from like some Arabian press, and I think I've done an interview for a French newspaper the other day, and they the way that I don't know what kind of broken English she was trying to speak, but the way she said it is, we like to focus on the smaller teams and smaller people, and I was like, oh right, brilliant.
Cheers, Welsh International over here. Free catch.
I don't want to give too much away, but she mentioned that she actually tried to contact the Cheltenham goalkeeper as well to try and get an interview with him to see what his views and opinions are. And I thought, God, like, I can't have seen that gone down too well. Like, so been unbelievable, mate. I've had a couple of messages, Italian, maybe League One or League Two goalies and German goalies, and just like I've had a few. You're my hero and all that, and I'm thinking, oh my god, like what have I done here? What have I done? You know what I mean?
Well,
good, mate.
Absolutely rinse it, mate. Start releasing some how to score goals, how to take goal kicks. Do some tutorials, mate, and they'll be flying, mate. Trust me.
It's true, don't it? People were really looking into that. I'm telling you. How the hell you get the power to get it all that far? I know there's a bit of wind there, but still, it still went miles. So
there was never enough wind when I was kicking to put it in the back of the net. I tell you that.
To be honest, like I know, like I don't want to keep going on about it, but obviously Nate will tell you when you know you've hit one, Jesus, you know you proper got it, and it's just I don't know what it is. I'd love a scientist to try and come out and explain what it is. It's like some sort of neuron that goes off in your brain, mate. And you're going, oh yeah, I'm absolutely.
I know.
On that one. I don't know what I've done there. Like my technique is awful, but I'm absolutely on that one.
I bet you was in training doing that kick again, haven't you? Have you done it since then?
To be fair, like I don't want to grass one of the lads up, but I was practicing a few goal kicks the other day, and he went, "Oh, a bit of shooting practice, is it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a little go on that, no problem." So, it's been all right. Like the lads, I've been insufferable. To be fair, fair play to the lads. None of them have punched me yet. I've been absolutely insufferable for about 8 days. So,
and so you should be. Like you're not going to do it forever. Yeah. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, because I would. Any misses them strikers are doing. I was like, oh, do you want to swap? You sure you don't want to get the next?
I got tagged in quite a random tweet the other day. I think I've won Screwfix's EFL moment of the year so far or something. So I'm looking forward to my screwdrivers. I'll wait to see what I win for that. Nice toolbox.
Bussy.
You got a tattoo somewhere, Tom? 96.01.
Yeah, to be fair, I've got one arm done so far, so I've got the other arm spare. Yeah, I'm going to get it huge, mate. Huge. If someone beats me, mate, I'm going to be in tatters. I'm going to be in absolute tatters. It's going to be the biggest job ever. So, yeah, 96.01. Yeah, I might get it on my face, mate, just to not let people forget.
Got you for it.
Yeah, proper. Yeah, absolutely.
I tell you what, if a goalkeeper was to get a tattoo of that across his face, you wouldn't mess with him. You would not be going up for any throws, nothing. Just look through them.
Yeah,
right.
When I'm in Marbella and I beat the next summer, that would be ideal. That's a great start.
I'm not sure it's going to go down too well there, especially Marbella. But
I'll take care of that.
Oh, mate.
Spoke to Josh. Did you have a word with Josh afterwards?
Josh?
Yeah, Josh Griffiths, the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, no. To be fair, sorry, mate. Yeah, no. To be fair, like he knows, like there is that obviously like secret goalies union that we talk about, and I know that that's been mentioned a lot during the 2-week period of a lot of people asking me about it, and it's there, 100% it's there. Like before the game, I'm always like, oh, all right, lad, how's it going? Like when you walk past each other, you're obviously always the first few lads out on the pitch, and you always share a handshake and all that. And after the game, I can only apologise to him, mate. Like I've never meant that. I didn't want that as much as he didn't want that. And I've made it very clear to the 100 interviews I've done since that if you'd have said to me you can score, or you'd have had the clean sheet and 3 points, and somebody else score, I'd have taken the clean sheet and 3 points every day of the week. I'm not one of these people that's after self-claim and pat on the back and all that. I just want Newport to be near the top of the league, mate, and just to achieve that as a team goal, you know. So that it sounds all cliche and all that, but I do truly mean that. And he knows that it wasn't meant. I've played against a few goalies and 5-a-sides that have tried shooting and stuff like that, and I'm looking over thinking, what on earth are you like? What are you trying here? Do you know what I mean? Trying to embarrass me in front of everybody. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them that he knows, and unfortunately he'll be tagged along with it for a long time until the next world record comes along, and hopefully it's somebody else. So, but no, he's a young lad. He's only 19. He's on loan from West Brom. He's an unbelievable goalie. I think we all saw that when he played against Man City on telly. He made 4 or 5 crucial saves, so he didn't let it affect him. And I'd like to think I've done the same. But no, he's got a massive career ahead, and he'll be in the headlines for all the right reasons soon. I've got no doubt.
Definitely. Tom, top quality interview again, mate. Brilliant. I'd love to have you on again, mate. No
problem. Yeah.
Any time you want to come on, just give us a shout, and you got a spot there, mate. Again, thank you very much for coming on as well, Nathan. As always, a pleasure.
No
But
problem. No problem. Nice to speak to you, Tom, as well.
And you,
all
mate.
the best for the rest of the season.
I'll let Josh know you said hello.
Yeah, and the gaffer if you can, yeah.
and we'll make sure Nathan has a word with the gaffer as well.
Yeah, I'm going to have
No, we won't. All right, thanks for that, Tom. Take care, mate.
Cheers,
mate. Thanks again as well, Nathan. See you later, mate. See you later.
See you, mate.
Cheers, mate.
All right, what a great start to the show. As Nathan Ellington and Tom King, two quality guests. And it will continue, people, because this is the Transfer Exchange Show. Make sure please press the like and subscribe button. If you want to press the like button, it makes sure it's boring, but the algorithm starts going around, and we're talking about transfers. So it lets people know that you like people talking about transfers. Do you know what I mean? Even though the transfer window's shut, it's never shut. But anyway. Whew. All right. Let's say hello to the people in the comment section first. Who we got? Peter G. Good morning. Always throws me off when Peter says good morning because it's 8 o'clock at night. But he's in Australia. Yes, Garth. How you doing? Title done. City have wrapped it up. There you go. No chance, Kieran. You'd yeah. See, this kid knows me. No chance you'd be doing a lap of honour. Yeah. If I scored, it'd have been Kiers, you 3-1 down.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
See, I don't want to see Tom going up for any corners against that kid in the last minutes and then go. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, he could just smash it in from 90 yards or wherever how long it was, 90 meters. Yeah. So this week we haven't got the Guardian top 60. We haven't. So people are thinking, what's going on? Oh, sorry. What we're talking about. Oh, we are going to be talking about who is the best. Oh, I need to get rid of this. Who is the best signing of the January transfer window? There's been so many signings this January transfer window. It's unbelievable. I didn't when you think to yourself, they say it's a quiet window, and it was the most quietest window in the Premier League for however many years, the lowest amount spent for how many years. But when you actually go through the number of transfers which happened from the 1st of January until the end, it's actually loads. And there's some really decent transfers that went through in the end. Joshua King ended up going to Everton in the end. Joe Willock went on loan to Newcastle when they desperately needed some players, and Joe Willock hit the ground running with a goal in his debut yesterday. But we'll start with you, Steve. And I'll let you have. I know you probably got a list because you're always prepared like that, as am I. So I'm going to give you a couple, and you give me your reasons why.
Two players. Well, one of them I think. It's got to be Ahmed Diallo, hasn't it?
Quality.
I mean, it's you know me when I always try and find like the unusual or the one that maybe someone is not going to pick, but I can't look much further than him.
Don't worry, I got you there, Steve. I can't wait for the other one.
Yeah, we've followed him for a long while now. He's 18 years old. And if you're a Man United fan, I mean, if you're any fan, you've just got to be excited by, what this kid's, going to bring to, especially the Premiership next season. I mean, he's already played 2 games for the under 23s at Man United. He's scored 2 goals and 2 assists in it. He's too good for that. They've got to move him up straight away. So yeah, that definitely is one, and one that is hit the ground running again is I think Luka Jovic. He's on my list, and he's gone to Eintracht Frankfurt. Yeah, where obviously, if you didn't know, is where he started career, and it just shows you sometimes it's where you are and where you're happiest, because he was absolute. Let's say it how it is. He was awful at Real Madrid. At Eintracht Frankfurt, he was absolutely
lethal,
prolific, and he's gone back to being that again.
Because he's happy. And that's one thing I think that people don't take into account when it comes to players settling in, playing well at clubs. Is are they happy? Are they comfortable? Are they happy with their surroundings? It's just the first port of call is always the manager. What's the manager not doing? He's not playing for the manager. Well, is he happy? Is he settled in the country he's living in? Can he speak the language? All these things are so important when you're making that move. And if the move doesn't work out, the first port of call is it's the manager or the player's rubbish. He's not up for it. But it's more than that. And you've seen that Luka Jovic is an absolute beast.
And he's only young, and he's not low H. People seem to think that he's had it, but he's still got a load of football in him. There's quite a few more, but obviously I'll leave.
We'll come back to you.
Come back to the end, yeah.
But Jerome, who have you got down as what signings you thought could make a big difference in this window?
Yeah, so I had a look at, I guess, mainly the Premier League clubs, and to be honest, there's been the two that I'm going to talk about are loan deals. And when you look at players that have left the Premier League clubs, so if you have a look at the ins and the outs, when you look at the outs, there's just so many that have gone out on loan. Loads. So obviously all different leagues, not obviously not just the Premier League, but obviously Steve's shout with Amad Diallo as a cracker. I guess there's two players, and we always talk about like different players, they suit different teams. So with this one, although he maybe hasn't got fantastic headlines recently, but I think has hit the ground running already for this team. And I think suit this team is Jesse Lingard.
Oh yeah, he's on my list.
He's on my list as well.
Yeah.
With West Ham, I think they needed that player that's, I guess, can link the midfield and the attack. He's a bit lively, and he's something they haven't got. And when you watched him play against Villa the other night, he just looks a threat, didn't he?
Yeah. Can I just say, they lost Arnautovic, and what Arnautovic had with all his skill and that around the pitch and his presence, I think Lingard has a touch of that, but he also has that work rate that you get from being in a Man United team.
That's it, yeah.
Which suits Moyes.
Yeah, exactly. Also, when some of these players are on loan, they sort of need to impress, don't they? It looked like he was playing like with a rocket up his backside. He can't just sort of go through the motions. So he obviously impressed in that game against Villa, but I think it's a very, very shrewd signing for West Ham.
Yeah, I agree.
And the other one, again, this was one I think last minute deals, was Minamino from Liverpool to Southampton.
Yes.
Another one that can sort of, he really floats at the upper end of the pitch, and cracking signing for Southampton to get, I think, sort of like a last minute signing. Excellent for them. I think he scored as well, didn't he, on his debut? I think. Yeah.
One thing I saw, which I found quite funny, was Liverpool realised that they needed to. They loaned out Minamino to Southampton because they realised they needed to go through Southampton to buy a decent player in.
That's it. Yeah.
So two very good signs. Well, I've gone slightly different. I mean, I've got a little bit of a list here, so I feel like I need to go back to Steve so Steve can reel off some of the other names on his list, because otherwise I feel bad. Well, one of the players on this list here we knew is going to this team for a few weeks is Jack Wilshere. To get a player who's of standard that could still play in the Premier League, and someone who we all know how good Jack Wilshere can be on his day, in a team in a Championship, and on paper you'd think that Bournemouth are a team that's going to come straight back up, but they're currently sitting sixth in the league. There's a few things that they're obviously missing in their team. New manager this season as well, so that's potentially something that could push them up in the table and help them out. Another one of the players that I went for it's completely different to everyone else's is Anthony Modeste. He's gone to Saint-Etienne. He previously was at Cologne, absolutely smashed it at Cologne. He's played in France before previously with a few teams there, and he's gone to a Saint-Etienne team that is really low in the table and could potentially be in danger. I think he's got 9 goals in 16 games last season when playing in China, and he's come back to play. Not to be any offensive, but some real football in Europe, because it seems to be that seems to be the thing with a lot of players that go out to China, then they realise they've actually got something else left in them, and then end up coming back. Yannick Carrasco's one who's now gone back to Atletico Madrid, or is going to go back to Atletico Madrid. So it seems like it seems to be a thing. And Nautovic reportedly wanted to come back to the Premier League after spending time out in China. So obviously the levels are not quite up to what they thought it would, and they feel they've got some more. So he's gone on loan to Saint-Etienne for the rest of the season to potentially keep them up in the league. So yeah, that's why I went for Anthony Modeste and the other one, Jack Wilshere, to nice. One promotion, one relegation.
Yeah.
There's one more. Can I mention one more player actually?
Yeah, go for it.
That's all right. So obviously, William Saliba's on loan at Nice from Arsenal, and Nice have also recently signed another centre back from Barcelona who was on loan at Schalke called Jean-Claire Todibo.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how him and Saliba play together. I think they won today 3-0. I think it was. And he's one of these really promising up and coming centre backs that's on Barcelona's books, but obviously they've just shipped him out on loan. But
that could be a serious partnership. Todibo and Saliba. I think Saliba's got young player of the month or player of the month as well.
He won. Did he win? I don't know if I think he won Nice's player of the month.
Nice's player of the month. I mean, it says a lot.
You've got there's a few more. You've got Milik who's gone out on loan to Marseille.
Milik,
I mean that's got to be an excellent signing for them. You've got Sami Khedira.
I've got Sami Khedira on there as well.
He gets a few injuries, but free. You take him, wouldn't you? He's gone to Juventus. And just for like the we're not doing the Guardian today, but one to look out for is someone called Brian Reynolds.
He's just gone to Roma.
Yeah, he's a centre half. He's a lot of good things being said about him. Gangly centre half, very powerful. He's come from DC United, and he's, like you've already said, he's gone to Rome. He's only 19. He's definitely one to look out for. And just finally, obviously, you've got Ozan Kabak, who's gone to Liverpool. Who we can't forget that.
Do you think we're going to see much of him? Do you think
I've been told he's not going to stay at Liverpool.
He's going to go out on loan.
I've been told. He's on a loan. We know that, but from what I've been told, he's not there to be kept.
Oh, really?
He will be going back to Schalke.
What do you think about him, Steve? Steve, what do you think about Kabak? What do you think he's a decent player?
Go on, Steve. Give us the 2-minute rundown.
Powerful. For me, he's just for the Premiership. He's like a perfect. I think he's raw. And he's going to have to be reined in a bit because he's like a beast and he runs everywhere and he has been known to get sent off and he can give away rash tackles, but he's a 90-minute. He's a centre half, straight box to boxer. I mean, he's just everywhere. And you wouldn't want to be in a, you wouldn't want to be marked by him or come up against him in a match. I mean, he was a powerful young man, and
do you?
I think,
and
I would have thought that he would have been someone they would keep, but I've just heard today that that's not the case, and that he will be going back along with. But is it Ben Davis of?
Preston.
Yeah,
is Ben Davis's contract run out at the end of the season, or is it?
I don't know this. I don't know. I don't know.
Let me just
because
check.
I might as well carry on from this. What I've been told that Liverpool are very interested and are in talks with someone. Jerome now again is Merrill Demira.
Oh yeah.
From Juventus.
Yeah.
I've been told that they are in talks with him, and that Liverpool do want him, and that they will be going in for the summer, and he is their main person they want to put next to Virgil van Dijk, and I was told by one of our good friends who was on our marathon show on Monday, so it's quite a good link.
All right.
To keep up on.
Yeah,
but, I think if we could just say we were going to talk about who's had the best window.
Cool.
I just want to give West Bromwich Albion a shout.
Go on, who'd they get in the end? All of them.
I probably haven't heard most of it, but it's obviously Sam Allardyce has came in.
Yeah.
And
identified the problems.
And he's the only person I'd probably say in that top 6, that 7 at the bottom, who's thought, right, I'm going to do something. We need to do something. And he's gone and bought a striker in Mabaye Dienge. He scored 11 goals.
When he played him in his first game, he looked like he could be someone that could do some damage, though, as well.
He scored in his last 16 games. He scored 11 goals.
Yeah.
In the team that he's come from. And they've also got Robert Snodgrass, who's
good signing.
Who's a good decent. They've got Landy Lonergan, who's a goalkeeper. Then they've built a defensive midfielder called Yokoslu, and someone we all know. He's gone to Newcastle.
Easily make the
nice. So I got a bit confused then. So he's got 5 or 6 players there where, he's gone in, and I think West Brom fans will look at that and they think, I'm happy with that.
But not just that though, but he's given us a chance, because you would have looked at the team previously and thought, look, this team is where it should be. Sam Allardyce, no matter what you think of him as a manager, he's identified there's gaps in this team. It's not good enough. And what I like about Sam Allardyce as well, is since he's come in, he's also identified the players that are decent in the team that I didn't even notice before at West Brom. Like, how have I not noticed that Pereira before? And it seems like since Sam Allardyce has come in, he's made him into a proper player. He's sitting in midfield, he's on the ball all the time, and he's scoring goals. That centre back is Aya, or his name is, who's wrapped him with a few goals now as well. They're still shaky, but he's given them a chance. When you're bringing in
players, they come from like silly clubs.
Exactly.
One came from Galatasaray, one came from West Ham, one came from Celta Vigo, and obviously the other one came from Arsenal.
Yeah,
and they're experienced. I mean, what do you think, Jerome? Who do you think's done the best business?
Well, West Brom have they've made the most signings. I think because they've had to, really. I mean, they were at the moment they're, I think, 9 points off of safety, and they played the game more. Like, you got to go for it. It's like you got to sort of roll the dice, haven't you, when you're in that position? So if they stay up, then I guess we'll look back and say, West Brom's business was. But a lot of the other Premier League teams, they've only really made maybe one signing. No one's really bought a lot of players. Yeah. It's only sort of one here and there. I mean, obviously we've spoken about Brighton's centre midfield signing before. Moise Saido. who looks like a good player. But obviously, time will tell. See how he gets on in the Premier, how much he plays. Obviously, a lot of these signings as well. Sometimes they take a few months to settle in, so we might not see the best of them sort of beginning until next season. But I guess if the ones that are on loan, they got to sort of produce straight away, haven't they? There's no time for those guys to sort.
Well, you're playing for your contract, or you're playing to get a move to somewhere else, isn't you? So
I think even if it's like with West Brom and they've brought in 5, and it's someone else and they've brought in 1. If they've brought in that one player to improve the rest of their season.
Exactly that.
Say,
that's it.
That's a good transfer window.
Yeah.
If someone's bought 3 and you think, well, I don't know what they've been bought for.
And they never play.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
see, like you said, Jerome, like with Brighton, you think even if they had a little bit of danger of going down, you probably would think, well, hold on a minute, that's improved their chances a lot.
Well, like you said, Brighton have got in Moses Caicedo, and I'm really excited to watch him because every single South American expert we've spoken to, we've asked them the question, is Moses Caicedo the real deal? And they've flat out said he is the real deal. They've got a mixture between so-and-so and Kante, or they've got a mixture between this and that. This kid is immense. So that's exciting. And that's coming from people who watch this guy week in, week out. As you said there, West Brom. I think West Ham have done some excellent business. That Jesse Lingard, I think that Jesse Lingard signing is genius. I think he is top 6 quality. No matter what people want to talk rubbish about Jesse Lingard, he's an England international on his day when his mind's right, which it hasn't been for the last season because he's come out and said my head wasn't in the right place. There was issues. There was illness in his family. So again, you have to understand this. And Jesse Lingard weren't on form, but Jesse Lingard, who is on form, you've got work rate, you've got a class touch, you've got goals in there, you've got a tidy player, and someone at West Ham that's ideal. They also made the deal for Said Benrahma permanent. Finished it off with a 20 million deal, and they brought in that is it Skinnerman, the defender from Strasbourg, who maybe not be ready now. Or Alaves, that's it. Frederick Alves. I'm not going to argue with Jerome. He knows them inside and out.
This may seem like it's like in ages ago, but it's not because the actual signing didn't go through until January the 2nd. But Dominic Zabloskia is now actually on January the 2nd. Became a RB Leipzig player.
Yeah, and who else said? Someone said Diallo, and you said Diallo. They said, "Can we count Diallo as the January signing?" Yeah, you can. He might have signed in thingy, but he didn't come until January, and that's a player. I mean, go and look if you've got time, and you want to see this kid play a full game. Go and watch some of his Atalanta youth team game. You'll get full games there. You can watch the full games, or you can watch extended highlights, which are like 45 minutes long. He takes the mick. He's a savage, and it's no surprise that he's coming to the Man United under 23s, and again he's hit the ground running because he plays men's football. He can play men's football. And he's deal with men trying to hack him down, chop him, and whatnot because he's that good.
I mean, it was about getting players out. I mean, I was quite astounded to see that last summer, it was £1.9 billion less was spent by the Premiership League clubs. And I had to keep looking at it and reading it back again to make sure.
I think half of that was Arsenal's wage bill.
Actually, we've forgotten Mesut Ozil, haven't we?
Like Mesut Ozil, Socrates, Mustafi, who else went? Like Kolasinac. Like Arsenal. Okay, the ins, Martin Odegaard, Matt Ryan, and Omar Rekic. Yeah, we know about Matt Ryan. Arsenal needed a goalkeeper. Martin Odegaard, we know about Odegaard. He's a quality player. But Arsenal got out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players out in the January transfer window. Now, that deserves a round of applause itself. That was outstanding from Arsenal. Outstanding. Because for all that we will moan as fans. I mean, I try not to get too involved in the wages thing. I've been drawn into it. I can't lie. I have been drawn into it far too often, but I don't, because it's not my money. I'm not interested in it. Like, I don't care. I don't care. But if you want to talk about wages, it's getting 13 players off your wage bill, and about half of them being first team players is top work. It's top work, because that's 6 months earlier than what you was expected on a lot of them, and they're on high wages.
Am I right in saying that if you're an Arsenal fan, that when you see what the work that they've done, and we applaud them for doing it, do we say now we want to see something in the summer now?
Not just something, Steve.
Because
the biggest summer that we've had.
I don't know. I'm
in
not
years.
expert on that.
The biggest summer, Steve. It's not even something, mate. It's not even something. It has to be the biggest summer we've had in years, because we've lost. Because I mean, we've got in. I mean, look, Arsenal have lost one first team player, 2, 3, 4 first team players. Can we see? Okay, let's say, can we see Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Joe Willock stand at the end of the season? Realistically,
No.
I see at least one of them going, if not both. But let's just say one.
I don't think they probably want them to stay. I think they probably want to sell them.
I do. Look, if Ainsley Maitland-Niles was really, if Arsenal really that serious about Ainsley Maitland-Niles being in the team, I think we would have seen a lot more of them. I think they see a place in the team for Joe Willock, and that's not either or being a better player. But you've got one who's a versatile player that can play all multitude of positions, and you've got one that has his position, which the manager has played him in. Yeah. The other one whose that position is, he's not been played in that position. So that tells me that he rates one more than the other.
So we seriously want to see some action. And some rumours in the next
I have got the pitchfork and lantern ready if I don't see 5 players coming in the summer. It has to be. And I'm not talking about 13-year-old kid from Nuneaton. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a serious signings. First team starters. Yeah. Competition.
Oh yeah.
Squad. Yeah. Players for the squad. This is what is needed. This is what is needed. More players out. There's players with a year left on their contract. If you're not signing them down to a longer contract, get rid of them. Because you don't need them there unless you want them playing for their contract. Well, I don't see any use in that. Then it means you're not too sure now. And you could. There's plenty of young players in and around the squad that can take that spot.
Are Arsenal that have got themselves in such a mess, I suppose you've got to call it, over the last 10 years, that they're going to have to do this again?
Not if they do it. Right. Not if they. See, the thing is, what I feel one of the main problems is Arsenal over the years have done this. Okay, we're getting 2 when we need 4. Yeah. Yes. And then we're getting 2 in the next window, but actually, because it's the January transfer window, we ain't going to get in no one. But we'll just say, oh, look, if the right player comes up, we're getting. Yeah. So the January transfer window comes up, we don't get in anyone. The summer window comes up, the players that we wanted are now at different clubs, and we've got to try and get different targets. That's the mess Arsenal are in. It's always and then another time, another time. Yeah. Arsenal should have bought 3 players a few years back, and they went out and bought Petr Cech. That was one of the maddest seasons ever, and we end up fluffing the league and could have won it. Yeah, mess.
That's my only worry. My only worry is that I mean, I've mentioned it on here before, is that they've got themselves in such a situation where it's just the catch up is just so difficult. Where every time you're catching up, the other teams are just going that further. You know, you're chasing all the time to try and get to that level. that's why I've always gone on about the influx of money, because it's but
yeah.
As you said, like if you look at, you might look back, and see all these players gone out, and you might say, "Well, that was the best transfer window."
Yeah.
Well,
if this January transfer window leads Arsenal into a place which is bringing in players in the summer, with not having to worry so much about having to get players out first, then we can class this as one of the best transfer windows, because it's been massively important. But until that happens,
you know what? If truth be told, this window getting rid of those 4 players, this should have really happened when Arteta first came into the club. But the trouble is, it didn't happen, probably because he can't come in, Arteta, and in the first month he's been there, get rid of those players, because managers probably give players a chance, clean slate and all that. But really, this was done two windows too late, and that's why we are where we are, or one of the reasons we are where we are.
I agree with that.
Jerome's spot on. He had to, the reason why, even if he knew that there was 4 or 5 players and he thought you've got absolutely no chance of of a career here, and next year I'm going to get rid of you anyway, he couldn't come in and just get rid, because
you've got to be tactful.
Because all the other players that he doesn't want to get rid, they're all going to go, hold on a minute, what if it's me next year?
What? Exactly. This is the thing, Steve. People don't take into account team dynamics, Now, this probably stems from these people never being in a football team situation where, look, in the most simplest terms, if you've ever played for a Sunday pub team and someone tries to bring in a ringer, you'll know about team dynamics very quickly, You will soon know about team dynamics, because no matter how good that fucking geezer is, that ringer played for Arsenal youth team and we want to bring him in, If Joe has been here every week for the last 6 weeks, sitting on the sidelines, and know he gets 10 minutes each week, and you bring him on before him, team dynamics is going to slap you around the face pretty quickly, people. That's how real football works. Because you can't come in and just go, all right, cool, you lot gone out. Because if it doesn't work, this is the reason why.
Football manager.
And hey, Jerome, football manager will give you a life lesson as well. I'll tell you that quickly. If anyone, no, not stay. I'll save that. If anyone's pressed that magic button, like hell have fury at half time to give the players a rollicking, and it worked one time, don't think you can press that button again anytime soon, mate, because it won't. You're going to lose the dressing room. You're going to lose the dressing room.
I don't want to feel like we educate people, but it's just, that's the way it actually is.
But Steve, do you know what it is?
You can't go, I want 8 players out. You can't do that. You can't do it. You don't know how. You might want them out in 6 months' time and 10 months' time. You can't be a new manager and come in, because every other player in your squad is going to be. They're not going to be on it, because they're going to think that they're next.
Look at the managers, that come in, and you can go far back, that come in and try and pick a player to make an example of. It very rarely works, because they always pick out the player that's really loved in the team, a big figure, a big character in the team. I've seen it. We see Bruce Rioch try and do it to Ian Wright. We saw Steve McLaren do it to David Beckham. We see managers do it all the time. Mourinho and Pogba. It doesn't work long term, because these players have contracts. These players can stay in the squad, and it's easier to get rid of a manager than it is a player. And if the manager's smart, he will tactfully move these players out of the team slowly and surely. See the characters of the team, get them on side. Once he's got them on side, they're part of his pawns in his chess game. All right, and the chess game is slowly moved piece by piece until checkmate. See you later. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right.
It's such a difficult job.
I mean,
it's even hard to pick characters out, because even when you're picking characters out, you're never that sure whether they're going to go and tell someone in the team, mate.
Of course, and that's the thing. That's a very hard balance in that. Look, Mikel Arteta's come in and he's had. I don't know a manager that's had to deal with so much stuff that he has had to deal with in his first year and a half in charge. And for people to contemplate him going now, for a manager to come in and take over after he's done all this work, got rid of Mesut Ozil, got rid of Socrates, got rid of Mustafi, like Guendouzi has been a pain in the ass, got him out the door. Like there's so much he's had to do. Aubameyang's contract situation, like the Raul Sanelli leaving, the lawyer, the chief negotiator getting the boot as well. Tim Lewis coming in. There's so much that he's had to deal with in his short space of time. You've got to give this geezer a break and let him have a chance to build his team.
It's like people want him to foul. Like,
oh, they do, mate.
So like negative, like give him a chance.
Give him a chance.
Give him a go.
He's improved the defence, hasn't he? He's improved the defence. That was something that was like massive Achilles heel for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think they're the maybe second or third best defence in the league at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it ain't great that Pepe and William and Aubameyang and Lacazette they ain't really on it, are they?
No.
You sort one thing out, and then the other thing goes, and you sort something else out, and then it seems to be like a never-ending story.
Yeah, I mean, Lacazette and Pepe, although I have frustrations with them, at least I'm seeing some glimpses. Yeah, but I'm sorry, Aubameyang, I cannot let him get away with the form I'm seeing from him based on the last previous form. And I'm not going to start digging anyone out and slating, but I just don't feel that this is the same player. I'm not saying pinpointing anything, any contracts or whatnot, because it could be something else. But this player this season does not have the same energy that he had in previous seasons. I'm saying that as a fact. I'm watching him. I'm not looking at stats. You don't need stats to tell you that Aubameyang ain't been the same Aubameyang. This ain't about goals. This is about application. Like, this is not the same guy. Not the same guy. There's something not quite up with Aubameyang this season, and I hope everything gets sorted out. And long term, we've got Aubameyang back. But for me, he is not on it at all. And I hope he stays away from the starting lineup for a little while longer, because I just don't. Because he came on the other day. What did I see? I saw nothing. I saw absolutely nothing, and that's worrying.
Something's not right.
You think your captain, your talisman, your prolific goal scorer for the last 3 or 4 seasons,
loved by the fans,
loved by the fans,
adore
you. You think that when you come on for this last 20-minute stint and they need a goal, they're gonna be something, but there's nothing.
Yeah,
you might as well have brought in Eddie Nketiah. It was nothing. It was nothing, and that. I worry about that, because he's got 3 years left in his contract now, and I'm not seeing him in a headspace which is good for the team. But the others Lacazette is. People know my feelings about Lacazette, and he's trying. He's trying. I want more from him, because to the level that he could actually play at, I want more than try. But what I have seen from Lacazette is good link-up play, work rate, and I like that.
That's what we bought you for, though, isn't it?
No, but
that's right.
No, the thing is, if Lacazette does that second season, 14 goals, 14 assists, well, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Although I'd like to see him score more goals, he's not getting that. I'm seeing more encouragement from Pepe, which is good. So I hope that continues.
Is he being played in the right system, Lacazette? Because when I watched him play in France, it wasn't, but it was like a 4-4-2 situation where he was like the main focal point of, and then the players behind him were ultra skillful, and they could play him in, and he could make his runs. We can't do that. We do it. We go wide, don't we? We go to Pepe, we go to William, or Tierney's coming down, or Bellery's coming down. They're going in every single position that Lacazette probably don't really want.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's this thing. It's like, I hear what you're saying with regards to are we playing the way to suit Lacazette, but I hear that about Pepe, and I hear that about Aubameyang, and I hear that, and it's like, you're now at Arsenal. Play my fucking way. Play the way I want you to play. You are good enough to play my system now. Yeah, you've got all these players around you that can do that and set you up to score goals. It's not as if Lacazette. And this is we've had this chat, Steve. It's not as if Lacazette weren't getting the chances. Okay, you could say that previously earlier in the season, Lacazette weren't getting too many chances. My issue was that the chances that he was getting were gilt-edged chances, where you've got to be scoring that, and he weren't taking them. Yeah, he's now getting more chances. Is he scoring more? I can't say he's scoring too many more on the ratio of chances. I'd say it's still probably about the same, if I'm honest. But I don't know whether we can say that he's not playing to his strength. If that's what you're trying to say, I don't know. It's just he's been here 3 years now. He should.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. He's got Saka and Smith Rowe behind him now.
Yeah, lot of energy, lot of skill, lot of talent. You've got Odegaard there as well. I mean, look, I know you're not the biggest fan of Xhaka, but mate, I've seen Xhaka put through like 4 or 5 excellent through balls in the last few weeks. One of which was set up Lacazette on a plate at one point in one game within like 30 seconds of the game. And Lacazette's missing the one-on-one in front of him.
Southampton one away, wasn't it?
And it's that. Yeah. I'm sorry, but if you're talking about,
I'm laughing to myself there.
You're talking about like top 4 strikers. If you Arsenal want to be top 4, even top 6, if you've got a one-on-one against anyone from Liverpool, anyone from Man United, anyone from Chelsea, anyone from Man City, you're like, this is a goal. One-on-ones. Whereas when it comes to us, if it's not Aubameyang, you're thinking, please score, please, and it shouldn't be like that.
Do you know what? We'll probably have more chance and score more goals if we had Lingard up front at the minute. Because he's on it. If he wants, the reason why I say that, it doesn't have to be Lingard. It could be any player.
Anyone on form.
It could be Aubameyang and Lacazette when they first started playing together. When they was just do you know, it was they was on it.
Yeah,
it's something mentally in their head.
It's mental. It's definitely mental. Aubameyang, look, Lacazette towards the end of last season was prolific. Yeah, smashing in goals, creating chances. He was unbelievable, unreal. Yeah, I was sold a dream for this season because it started off like the previous season. Aubameyang has been prolific since he's been here, non-stop. Yeah. People say he don't do anything in the game and then just bag. All he does is bag goals. Okay, but do nothing in the games now, but just bag goals. He can't do it. Why is he not running into those spaces? It's not those, Steve, because Aubameyang's been scoring like week in, week out for the last 3 years.
Yeah, but it gets to a point. I mean, Dortmund, he was just 30 goals every season. Yeah, 30 goals every season. He came here and it was the same. 30, and eventually they like, that's enough. I'll get myself a good contract and I'll just stop. We've had that with so many players.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
and you've got poor old, what's his name, Jonathan David, who's in the papers today crying his eyes out that he wanted to come to Arsenal.
He's doing all right at the moment, isn't he? He's doing all right.
Is he bagging in the goals?
He done an interview. He done an interview today or yesterday, and he actually said, I was desperate, absolutely desperate to come to Arsenal. He said, I watched them as a kid. He said, I watched like Bergkamp, Vieira. He said, I watched them. He said, when they was interested in me, he said, I was like, I had my agent to go and talk to them and try and get me, but they just didn't want to know.
Yeah, the thing is, look, if we're honest with Jonathan David, he's a very good player, but I don't think he's ready. I think potentially if he would have come at this point in time, the Premier League could have eaten him up. And then you know what it's like if a player doesn't start well, or they're written off. They're written off, and it's very hard to
Jerome's
get
right,
into the
though.
team.
He's on it at the minute. He's on it in that moment. He's well on it.
Look, maybe he needs that step to because you're going from the Belgian league. So maybe he needs that step to see what he does in France and then make that step forward. But look, it's odd. It's odd that you say that and that interview's come out, because the interview that I read when we were first linked, like not nearer this time last year. No, you said this is from today. So this is an interview I'm talking about from last year, where he said about maybe a move to a bigger league, is maybe not. It's not the right time, and kind of played down talk of a move to Arsenal, because it was too early. So I don't know. Maybe that's just in hindsight. Maybe that's maybe he's thinking.
His quote was he said that it was his dream to sign for Arsenal.
Yeah,
and that's what he scored 5 goals in 5 games at the moment. So, like Jerome said, he's
on form. He's on form.
He's well on it. He's well on it at the minute. So,
all right.
But this.
All right. Well, let's get into the transfer roundup, people. All right. Transfer window shut, but there's still it's never shut. If we're honest, it's never shut. It just means they're preparing for the summer. Middlesbrough completed the signing of Nathaniel Mendez-Lang. Joe Willett completed his loan move to Newcastle when he scored in his debut. Everton completed the signing of Bournemouth forward Josh King. One of the players that Peter Galladini, who came on the show the other day, this player Marcos Paulo signed for Atletico Madrid. Jerome, you had a little look at him. What's he saying? Peter seems to reckon he was a decent player.
Yeah, he does look pretty good. When he this is a 20-year-old sort of attacking midfield wide sort of player. When he was 17, I don't know if this was discussed. When he was 17, he had a release clause of like 45 million euros.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he was
very highly rated. He's born in Brazil, but plays for Portugal. Plays for their youth teams. Predominantly seems to play on the left-hand side, but cuts in a lot on his right foot. He's got a very sort of soft touch, very light on his feet. You know, like one of those players that sometimes when you see him, it looks like they're wearing slippers. Like, you know what I mean? Not massively prolific as you wouldn't expect from a sort of wide player. Like maybe some of the stuff he does is like similar style to Zaha, Wilfried Zaha. But yeah, he's been in Brazil like his whole since he was very young. So this is a massive move. Yeah. He represents for like due to family reasons. But it's a massive move to go.
It's going to be a massive culture shock going to Atletico Madrid as well, because with Simeone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one to watch then. Andre Villas-Boas shocked the world of football by offering his resignation after Marseille signed Celtic midfielder Oliver Nicham on loan against the will of his manager.
Amazing story. That is an amazing story, isn't it?
Unbelievable. It then came out later on that Oliver Villas-Boas got the sack from Marseille in the end, which is not surprising, because I don't know how you could walk back in the changing rooms and look that player in the eye that you've openly offered your resignation because the club signed him against your will.
What do you think of that? Do you think fair play to Villas-Boas, or do you think because he's basically like he's not playing politics? He's just saying it as it is. He's saying, "Look, I don't want this player. Why are you signing him?" It doesn't really happen, does it?
No, it must have come into his head at some point that if I do this, the upstairs are going to do their nuts, and I'm going to get it.
Do you not
He must have known the consequence.
Do you not think he must have known that? He knew. There must have been an element of him knowing that he was doing this. I don't, it's a tough one because, like you said, he's standing his ground, so you got to respect that. You got to respect that he's standing his ground. But this is not professional.
No,
I don't think it's professional at all. It's massively disrespectful for the player. The player's been made to feel bad. It's not going to reflect on the player well at all. Like, because you're essentially what you're saying to the fans is, "I'm leaving because this player's joined," and that's not a great foot for that player to start off. So that's going to be a bit hard for him.
But there's some occasions where fans will say about a manager, "Oh, if a manager doesn't get the player he wants, he should leave."
How much do you believe that? How much do you believe that? How much do you believe that, though?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what fans say, isn't it? They say the manager should, like you said, stand his ground and stick up for what he believes in. But
he's only been in the job for 2 months. Yeah, if he didn't like it, I'd walk out.
Yeah.
See, I like that actually. I like it. I mean, I like it. I'm thinking of that. If our manager did that, we feel not doing that. Do you know what I mean? I like that type of attitude. But don't do it to kids that are watching. But saying that, he's an employee of the club.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Interesting.
It's mad. It's mad.
Yeah.
Look, I think managers generally have that sort of. They've got that ego. So if they can't get something, it's like I want to prove to you I can do this without. So when it comes around again, you better back me because otherwise I will leave without even saying that. The Viva Spurs one is nuts. I couldn't believe it when I read it. That had to go on the page because it was just crazy. Never. But the thing is as well, like nowadays with a lot of clubs, they buy in the players themselves. I know that the manager will get briefed, and this is the list of the players that we've got, and I know you've got your favourites, but clubs will buy in players because they don't know whether the manager is going to be there long term. They don't know whether, because they don't want to get into a situation which has happened previously, is where the managers are buying in players, then that another manager will come in and he's got players that the last manager's bought and they don't like. So what they will do is they will buy players based on the profile of the club, based on the style of play they want the club to play. So every player they bring in will suit that style. So in theory, a new manager coming in shouldn't really have to deal too much with a player they don't want because it will still be of that ilk, of a level, or of a style that you want to play. So, yeah, it's a messy one, but it's a great reading. Neymar's come to a full agreement with PSG over a 4-year extension of his contract. Looking to sign that contract soon. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City are interested in signing Inter Milan right back Hakimi. Steve, Man City, really? I wouldn't have thought so because what's his name? Smashing it.
Carl Walker, and they've got the kid coming through.
Cancelo.
Yeah, we've got him as well. But sometimes you just look at one and you just go nut.
But
Arsenal, it all goes back to money again, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, with regards to Inter Milan, as we know, and we spoke to Carlo the other day. He was on our show. Yeah. Inter Milan are in a bit of trouble with money, which you wouldn't have thought so because they've got very, very rich Chinese owners. But the rules in China are stated at the moment they don't want money coming out of China. They're holding all the money in China. Which means that they can't get. They're struggling for money at Inter Milan. Inter Milan haven't got the money to keep their players. So
they must have a big wage bill in Inter Milan. Some of the players they've got.
Players. What did Carlos say? Some players haven't been paid in a few weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
So there's some really big issues with Inter Milan, which have come out of nowhere. Which is why you're probably hearing the likes of Hakimi after not even a season being at Inter Milan that he could be looking to offload him.
Yeah, AC Milan are the total opposite. They're absolutely smashing it and changing everything around.
Yeah, so watch this space for Inter Milan movements of players in general because Yeah, they're in trouble and they're looking to sell. They're looking to sell up to new owners because the Chinese owners there cannot bring any money into the team. Real Madrid will look to offload 20-year-old Brazilian forward Vinicius Junior in the summer. Just we're speaking the other day to who was it?
I asked Joan this question.
Joan.
Yeah, maybe it was Joan.
You can imagine what Joan said, can't you?
Is Joan a fan of him? Joan's not a massive fan of him, is he?
Oh, I can't remember.
Well, he hasn't seen enough of him. I don't think anybody has really, have they? I mean, how old is he? Was he 20?
He's 20, yeah. He came in when he was 18 and he had a brilliant start to his career at Real Madrid. The following season was a bit, but he's young, so he was only 19. And then this season, and then it seems to be this season, they're like, see you later.
Do you think the way he plays, this is going to sound ridiculous, the way he plays, he could do with fans in the stadium because he's that sort of player that,
It's not silly.
He thrives off of.
It's a great point.
It's not a silly thing to say because
there's players like that.
Yes, I'm surprised that players like Wilfried Zaha haven't had that issue because what you'll get with some of these flair players is you'll get that they thrive off of the feeling that where the fans get excited by the step over, the running past the player, the drop of the shoulder. That they feed off the ohs and the ehs. Them kind of players love that. They love that hype. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Real Madrid do need to
offload.
They've made a list of 5 players that they want to get out, and it's mainly their older players and putting some of the youngsters on loan. But you'd be silly to sell Vinicius, wouldn't you? I mean,
I think you would, but the thing is,
he could turn
the thing is,
anything, couldn't he?
Yeah, the thing is, I think they're looking for the Neymar, aren't they? That was it. They're looking for the Neymar. They're trying to buy in all the Brazilians to bring in the next Neymar. And if the player's not Neymar, then there's no other Neymar. There's no Messi's. There's no other Mbappe's. There's no these players come around once in a generation. Yeah. So looking for another Neymar right now is just it's not going to happen. You just got to bring in. You find your own one. That's it. It's simple as that.
Is Zidane a manager who you would put in the category of someone who could bring in youngsters? It seems to be a bit like a one trick, checkbook type manager. He don't come across to me like someone who would, bring youngsters through. And when you look about Odegaard out on loan, and there's a few others gone out on loan.
Well,
it seems to be the trend. Kubo keeps going out on loan, back loan.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking with regards to some of the players like Asensio. There's got to be some others that have come in from the youth or coming young that have stayed in the team. I'm just trying to think. I mean, Rodrigo's still in the team, but is he in the team? Vinicius is in the team, but is he in the team? So
Odegaard's not in the team.
Odegaard. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. How young are we talking? Are we talking between the ages of 16 to 20? It's hard to say he does, but I mean, Rodrigo, Vinicius. I mean, they've kind of been stuck with bringing in any more non-EUs because they've already got too many. But
the trouble, I think, maybe one of the troubles at Madrid is that they're not a club where you can say to the fans, right, what we're going to do, we're going to bring through some youth players, and in 4 years' time, we're going to be. They need success now, so there's not the patience, is there, to bring through loads of youth players? Maybe one, perhaps two, but you need success now, don't you? If you're Zidane at Madrid,
you can't imagine El Presidente coming in and saying, right, Mr. New Manager, I want you to go into the youth. I want you to bring all these through.
Nah, otherwise they get the old pinkies out.
Yeah, I had this conversation.
To be fair, I'm repeating what Jerome just said because he said it. You know, he's spot on what he said. You can't imagine a manager being given the time to develop, can you?
Yeah. Well, I had this conversation with someone in a WhatsApp group about Barcelona, and I said Barcelona need to rip up whatever rubbish book they've got that they keep on just putting more and more rubbish on top of. Yeah, forget about this whole. Yeah, we've got to do this to keep Messi, and then we're going to bring in this player and bring in that player. Like they need to. They've got a bunch of youth players. They need to get to the drawing board, see what players have really got it, and then bring in some experience to work with those young players. They need to start again because it's just a mess. Their wage bills all over the place. They can't keep bringing in £100 million players with no sell-on value at the age of 29 and 30. It's madness. And they said, yeah, well, the next president can't exactly come in and say, yeah, I'm going to bring through youth players and I'm not going to sign any big names and reinvent Barcelona that way. I was like, yeah, but that's what they need. That's what they need. But like you said, are you going to get elected by saying that to the fans? Are you going to get elected by being honest about what Barcelona need? Or are you just going to carry on this farce and keep on signing up Messi for another year on however many £1 million a week? It's nonsense. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. You also had a look at Manuel Ugarte, Jerome. He's another player that Peter said was pretty good. That's coming out of South America. What's he saying?
Yeah, he's Uruguay.
Yeah,
Uruguayan, sort of a central midfield, more defensive, like sort of deep lying. Very good at winning the ball back without sort of going to ground. So it's lots of interceptions. Stays on his feet. Really calm on the ball, and he's only 19 and he's already made over 50 sort of appearances at senior level. So he's been given some sort of responsibility at a young age in midfield. So looks quite tidy. I'd say.
And Manchester United youngster Tendon Mengi has joined Derby on loan. Derby got a decent player there.
Yeah, so again, very young, only 18, centre back, Indian youth international. He has actually played for Man United. He came on in the Europa League last season just for a few minutes. A very strong, solid centre back, very pacey, brings the ball out of defence a little bit like a young Sol Campbell used to do when he would just burst out of defence. But I think someone that's got bags of potential, and I guess the link is with Derby and United is Rooney. I suppose is I've spoken to a few mates, only 18, but he looks a monster. Yeah, looks like a monster.
Getting some good experience while out on loan. Steve, you got some transfer news for us?
Not much, just a little bit. We're just going back to the Jadon Sancho quickly a little bit. Man United are not going for him in the summer. Told it by two people now close to us. They're not going for him in the summer, which probably don't take a lot of working out when you think they've got this superstar sitting in the under 23s at the moment. And they're not going to pay 120 million. So. For Jadon Sancho. So
where's the other destinations for him? It's probably. I think there's a little bit of money for it. I think there's probably a little bit of Jadon Sancho last season that was probably thinking this could be one of my very few opportunities to get out of Germany.
Yeah, in City.
Because look. Realistically, how realistic was it that City were going to come in this early for him again? With Mahrez there, it's not. Well, Liverpool, Chelsea. There's no room for him at Chelsea.
There's talk of Salah going to Real Madrid, isn't there? There's every time you think of this,
is it that? Sorry, go on.
Every time you think of this, you think it's got to be something to do with some kind of swap thing going on because you don't know where these clubs are going to get the money for these these players. You know, Manchester United struck gold with Ahmed Diallo because you know they don't want Jadon Sancho, and now Borussia Dortmund, the tables have turned a little bit.
And Borussia Dortmund are thinking that we need to get rid of some players, and we've got an £80 million asset sitting in our team who's only going to go down in value the more and more years he sits there. Who
you know, we know that he's not that type of kid who's going to force any moves.
No.
But I think over the last few months, I think enough things have come out, and we've learnt enough things to know that I think Jadon Sancho wants to move, and he wants to go. And Manchester United don't need that plan no more. They're not going to pay. They're not going to pay. Anybody that's watching now, just forget it. They're not going to pay 120 million when they've got Ahmed Diallo sitting there.
But it's the reason why.
So it's not going to happen.
It's the reason why the rumours came out that Borussia Dortmund are willing to accept 80 because they're worried because they're like United, and I mean United are like, no, we've just gone and bought ourselves a new player. Don't need him.
Yeah. I mean, go on, mate. Sorry.
No, that's right.
No, go on, mate. Go on.
Look, I was going to sort of got to. All I'll say is this might be a conversation for another day, but with these massive transfers, if I say to you, Pepe, Griezmann, Hazard, Dembele at Barcelona, Coutinho at Barcelona, maybe even Maguire and Pogba, like I think clubs are going to be put off paying these massive transfer fees because a lot of the times they don't work out.
That list there.
But you're talking like 70, 80 million plus the wages. There's no guarantee that this money is going to give you a player that's going to hit the ground running. And sometimes, like Hazard, he's got a massive move from Chelsea. He's on sky high wages. Thinks he's made it. Brilliant player, but what a waste of money that is.
Yeah, and if you can, like, that's a great example. Like with that list you've got there, you're looking at that list, and every single player on that list, in the teams that are in now, with the money that the club has spent on him, like from that list there, you're looking at it, and there's an argument whether their players are flop or whether I hate to use the word flop, but whether the players lived up to this level of what their expectations. Griezmann, no, you'll say no. Pogba is an argument about it every other week. Pepe, you'll say no because he's not there. The rest of the players, the players you said there, everyone's paid that. Who has someone paid big money for and has actually been worth that big money? We're talking the upper echelons of 70, 80 million.
Probably a Van Dijk, you'd say.
Van Dijk, Alisson.
But there's not. I don't think there's a lot. I think if you're a big team about to spend big money, I think looking at these transfers that could put you off slightly because you can get a Diallo, you can get someone coming from your youth team. Perhaps you don't have to spend all this money because a lot of the time as well, it'll go to the players' heads. They think, they've made it, and the hunger goes. And then
I think James said it. That lockdown will have clubs thinking twice about.
I think these clubs and these players have done what it should have done. Other clubs now, when it comes to the summer window, a favour. Because you, like Jerome just said, you just can't go out and pay this money no more. You're going to be stupid not to. But what are you going to do now with these players who want to leave? You're going to get another side of it, aren't you? You're going to get arguments between them and the club saying, well, I want to go. You're going to have to bring the price. I mean, let's take Jack Grealish, for instance, right?
But that does happen.
Who we know Man United want, right? And we all know Kieran's had the chat earlier on about Jack Grealish.
80 million they want for him.
Let's just say he does want to go, right? Man United are not going to pay 80 million for him.
Because he wants to go. Because he'd be saying to the club, that price is too much for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he wants to go. And that's what players
he'll
do.
say, I've done this.
Yeah.
I've done this for you. I've been here all my career. I've done this. I've done that. I've stayed when I could have got relegated.
And that price is too high.
That's too high for me.
Yeah.
And I want to.
It happens. Players will say if a team puts too much, I'm pretty sure it happens with Sahar. But Crystal Palace's argument was, you've just signed a 5-year contract, mate. A year after you sign that, you're trying to tell us that the price is too high for you. You shouldn't have signed a 5-year deal. It's nonsense. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah. They'll probably say, well, we'll give you 40 for Grealish. You know, and but Grealish don't care about that.
Yeah.
All he cares about is the fact that United are going to give him 200 grand in wages a week.
Yeah.
Right? It's not interested in that.
Steve, what would you pay for Grealish?
What, in this day and age?
Yeah.
In this day and age.
What would you feel comfortable paying for him?
But in this day and I feel a bit because I know he is worth more, but I'd say about 40.
Yeah.
You wouldn't pay more?
I'm not. Well, how much more?
Hard, isn't it? It's hard, isn't it? It's so hard.
But it's like what Jerome just said. We're going to be sort of contradicting ourselves. We're saying
no. Because look,
we've got to watch ourselves on what we like. We're going to pay.
Because
of like,
I get that. But we're I think we're talking about. Look, if we're talking about, I think that works in kind of, if you're paying for a defender. And you're paying £70 million for a defender, you've got to be talking about the best defender in the world. If you're paying £60 million for Jack Grealish, you're talking about one of the best in Europe. You're not necessarily having to talk about the best in the world because we've seen that Paul Pogba cost 80, Gareth Bale cost 100. So there's still another player's difference in there. That, you see what I'm saying? So I'd say 60 million for Jack Grealish because he's also so versatile as well.
Yeah, but once you get into the 80, 90, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Do you know why I said 40? Because I was just trying to compare him with a player. Maybe it's the wrong comparison, right? But I was thinking of like Thiago Alcantara of Liverpool. And what they got in for. They got in for about 35, 40 million. So I looked at him and I looked at Grealish and I thought, Alcantara, you're absolutely...
He's a world beater.
The
only difference is I'd say is its age. One's 30, one's 24, 25.
I don't even know which way. I couldn't see which one.
Yeah, Thiago Alcantara is 30, I think.
Okay.
But then that make it worse.
Yeah, he's 29. He's 30 this year, which means that his price tag would be less, I would have said. Whereas Jack Grealish is 25 and he's just turned 25 in September. So
great age.
so you're talking about a 5-year difference. And I think that would make a difference in comparison on fees. But I mean, it's a discussion and a very good point there, Jerome. Very good point. Steve, go on. You had more.
It was just I was going to go into the Jack Grealish thing, but we pretty much covered that. I was speaking to a guy today who told me Gabriel Jesus was going to be dropped. And I was going, no, he won't be dropped today. Well, lo and behold, he was dropped.
Who's that?
Gabriel Jesus.
Oh.
Jesus. He was dropped. And when the team come up on the game, he was dropped. And the reason why he was dropped is that he's come out and said that he wants to leave. So I checked it up, and he has come out and said he wants to leave. He said that I don't want to be here. I want to go back to Brazil. I want to play for Palmeiras.
Wow. What? Let's go back to Brazil?
Yeah, he's come on and there was confrontation in the Pep's office. Heated one in Spanish, I was told, and then Jesus come out and he drove home. This was at the training ground. So not all is great at Man City.
Bloody hell! Do we know it was? You know why there was an issue? Why there was there was a problem?
It was a problem, and this.
What was it? Because do we know?
Well, it's just he wants to go. He wants to go back. He wants to go back to Brazil, and he's come out in a magazine somewhere. I'm sure you'll find it. And he said that he wants to go. He wants to leave.
Do you think he feels that he's not got a start in a main striker spot in the team?
Yeah. But a lot of people, Man City players, are doing this recently. McMaras has done the same, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He did the same, saying he wants to go to Spain and things like that. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting story. I was quite taken aback by it. You know, because I thought everything was hunky dory in the world at Manchester City, but it's certainly hunky dory with Gabriel Jesus.
Oh,
who wants to go back and play for Palmeiras.
Well, that shocks me that he wants to go back to Brazil already. But yeah, I mean, home comforts.
Home comfort. And just quickly, it's not really a story. Fernandinho, we all know, excellent player for Man City. He's been offered a job at Man City.
Oh, that's good.
As Pep's coach.
Decent. Very good. Very good.
Whether it takes it yet, though.
Yeah, but I like that when you keep a player that's like a leader in the team in and amongst it. Yeah, I like that. Gianluigi Buffon urges the hierarchy at Milan to get the deal done for Donnarumma. Sergio Reguilon has already agreed a return to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, the deal for Real Madrid to get Reguilon on essentially it was with a buyback, which really kind of just gave Tottenham the money back that they bought him for, and then a couple of the other deals I kind of glossed over them because I thought, you know what, they're getting the deals they need to get their team in a good place now. I rate that. I like that. I've got a lot of time for that, but it's just unraveled out of nowhere. Like, it's completely unraveling. Gareth Bale is just, the situation's not working out, and it seems that it's starting to get on people's nerves a bit. With the fans want to see him and he's not playing. Yeah. People are questioning whether there's any point in getting him there. The Reguilon looks like he's going back already after one season, which is not a surprise because he's been immense for Tottenham. It's just the short-term fix doesn't seem to be working, which is kind of surprised me.
Can I just go back to the Man City thing? I've just got a little bit I wanted to ask Jerome. With this Gabriel Jesus and Aguero still not signing a contract, am I going over the top to say is Tommy Doyle ready to come into the squad?
I think he's more of a central midfielder. I think Tommy Doyle. So
I got the wrong name. Maybe a striker. I'm thinking of a striker. I got it wrong.
That's all right. Yeah, Tommy Doyle, cracking player. I think there's so much competition in the central midfield area for Man City. I mean, Foden today. Did you see Foden? They stuck him up front. He was like playing as like the lone striker. Just their quality, the quality of midfield players they've got is amazing. Man City.
I think one thing that Kevin said the other day was Tommy Doyle dead ball is second to none. Unbelievable.
Okay.
But he needs to add more to his game than just the dead ball.
Yeah.
And that's no slight of the player. He's still young, but he's got a lot more developing to do before he can be a staple in this Man City squad. Which, if you've seen Phil Foden, you know the level that he is and how hard it's been for him to get into the squad and keep his shirt. It says what Tommy Doyle's got to do.
He was still popping him today, wasn't he, Pep? in his interview, in his Sky interview after the day, still popping Foden. Did you see it?
To get more out of him. To get more out of him, innit?
He's saying, "Oh well, the bloke Jeff Shreves was like, oh, Carl, what a great interview, a great game. Foden stayed, unbelievable goal." And Pep went, "Yeah, it was a good goal, but he's not doing this and he's not doing that. And in the first half, he was awful. He wasn't going where we wanted him to go, and he didn't do this." And I'm like, I thought, if you're Phil Foden watching that, you're thinking, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but is he just getting into Phil Foden's head? Is he saying, Phil, you still got more to go? Because at the end of the day, yeah, look, every pundit, every fan, especially Man City, worships the ground that this kid walks on. Mm. Is there someone in this team that's keeping his feet on the ground? Well, that's definitely Pep. 100%. And we've seen a lot of players who, especially at a young age, can quite easily go and think that they are the bee's knees and they are the done. They're done. Nah, I'm done. No one can tell me anything. Yeah. But and their head goes. Their ego gets too big.
Man management, yeah.
Man management. Because as you know, Steve, everyone in Man City lords Foden. So, and he knows it. He will know that. Yeah. And if you see his antics,
and especially with his little confrontation that he had when he was on the England squad, maybe
exactly what I was just about to say. The thing that he had with the England squad says to me that he knows his work. He knows what he's about. Because you don't do that if you don't. If you don't think that I'm untouchable, you don't do that. And he had a little element of untouchable
behaviour, aren't you? You're on your best behaviour.
You're on your best behaviour, mate. Yes. You don't see Nick Pope doing it. You don't see any of the other ones doing it. You see Mason Greenwood and Phil Foden, the two darlings of Manchester City and Man United. Doing it. That's what you see.
We all know. You all obviously knew Pep Guardiola was like an incredible manager. But is it even got any? Is it risen even higher over the last 6 months?
No,
because it has with me. Because
but it won't do with the majority of people, Steve. Like, again, I bring up Kevin. People will say, "You just bought it. You just bought it. You've just bought this. So what have you done that's that impressive?" Well, like Ronnie O'Sullivan, this season, I'm going to do it with my left hand. I'm going to do it without a striker. The season, not last season, the season before, I did it from coming from behind. I gave Liverpool a head start and I still did it. Yeah. Last season, I let Liverpool win it by such a margin. I let you think that they're going to dominate for 10 years. And what did I do? I didn't even bring out my striker and still done it. Like...
I put in a false 9. I sold Silva.
Do you know what I mean?
I even see De Bruyne when he got injured. As I was walking past the tunnel, I kicked him even harder. So
I stuck myself in goal. I've signed myself as the goalkeeper, and I'm still going to do it. And do you know what they say? Nah, you bought it. Like he could do it with his youth team, and people wouldn't rate him because it's Man City. So, but I think Pep deserves a hell of a lot of respect because it's very hard to do this job in the way he's done it, and like sometimes he's just blitzed it. Like when you watch Man City, he does it right as well. You watch Man City play; it's good to watch. I think he's doing it. I think he's doing it.
Arteta leaves. He goes to Real Madrid. Pep or Klopp?
Klopp. I see Klopp. I see Klopp going to Real Madrid. I can see.
Pep or Klopp. Who would you have? Pep or Klopp?
I'd have Pep. I'd have Pep. I'd have Pep.
Yeah, same.
I'd have Pep.
It's just hard, isn't it?
Pep's cool. Like Klopp, I've got a lot of time for Klopp. Like not so much at the moment because he's getting a bit, isn't he? He's getting a bit, He's a bit of a bad loser, isn't he? Did it again? There's a bit of Klopp.
We played well the first half. He went, and then he went. Oh, what you didn't? And he was like, "What? I didn't say nothing."
You know what? I know they all are. Like every one of us is probably as well. But you know what? Klopp is. He's a proper bad loser, isn't he?
He's a bad loser. I've seen Pep as bad loser. Like, yep.
They are. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So you lost it. Yep, we lost. What was the problem?
Yeah.
They scored more than us. It's like what a stupid question.
Yeah.
Is it interview over? Like you seen them all. You seen them all. Yeah. Like, and it could be the how you doing, Pep? What do you mean? How am I doing? How are you doing? Like, it's like what it's just a simple question. But when you're in a bad mood, you're in a bad mood, and every question is a stupid question. But Klopp, Klopp finds people.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. But Klopp finds people. Like him. Hi, was that you, Roy? What did you say? Did you say we did not play well in the second half? So, what could you repeat yourself? It's like, what? This is well awkward. What? You didn't even sit. You heard him and recognized his voice. It's like, you're nuts. You're crazy.
I bet with Jeff Freeze's interview, and I bet he's going like that. He's shaking his head.
Mate, he's clenching, mate. He's worried. He knows there's something coming. Savage. Just like, relax, Klopp. But yeah, I'm not the best loser. I'm a terrible loser. But yeah, is what it is. West Ham were interested in signing Moroccan forward Youssef En-Nesyri, but were not willing to pay his price. Jerome?
Yeah. I think he probably would have cost a lot of money. So he's at Sevilla at the moment. 23-year-old Moroccan international.
Yeah.
He only joined Sevilla in January of last year for 25 million euros. Now this season, he's right at the top of the scoring charts. Only Suarez is ahead of him. He's level with Messi in terms of league goals. And if he wins the Golden Boot out in Spain, it will be only the second time ever that a player from Sevilla has won the Golden Boot out in Spain. Yeah, the last time was 1955.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So he's very, very alert in the box. Has got sort of great awareness of when a chance is or when a chance might become available to him. A lot of his goals are your typical striker goals in and around the 6-yard box. Good in the air, decent headers, first-time finishes, but can run in behind as well, left-footed. He's having a cracking season so far, and looks okay. Yeah, looks pretty sharp. Yeah, good player.
Right, cheers for that, Jerome. Messi denies talking to Manchester City and PSG and says that he will make his decision at the end of the season. When I saw that, I thought to myself, just stop. Stop. Like, does this mean he's open to staying now? Like, what's going on with this guy? Like, what a load of rubbish that you haven't spoken to Man City and PSG. Absolute tush. Rubbish. Absolute garbage.
Well, I know he's spoken to Man City. I don't know about PSG. I don't know if he's PSG, but I certainly know he's spoken to Man City.
Spoken to all of them. It's a load of rubbish. Another player that Callum pointed out the other day that's just moved to PSV is Jermaine Frimpong.
Frimpong,
Is he a good player? What's he saying?
Yeah, this is the guy from Celtic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he spent pretty much his whole youth career at Man City. Then the last 2 seasons been at Celtic. Dutch youth international, but he's eligible to play for Ghana and England, like the senior teams. I don't know what he said to you, but from what I saw, very attacking. I guess when you're playing for Celtic as a right back, you're going to do a lot of attacking, aren't you? I suppose.
Yeah.
He's lovely technique on the ball, like for a right back. Good balance. Quite unpredictable for a right back. He doesn't just play the sort of obvious pass. Like he might go. He might try and take the left back on. You know, he might drive inside. Decent. I don't know what happened with him leaving Man City, whether the contract just finished or. But
it's just a thing with Man City's. The level of Man City youth is it's unbelievable. So
Marie was full of praise, wasn't she, on the show as well when he was talking about him?
Brilliant show. If anyone's not seen that, the Callum and Marie one, from the other day was excellent. I think it got our top views as well. So go check that one out. It was a mix and match which I never expected to work, but it was brilliant. It was my favourite one, if I have to say. So sorry to anyone else, but it was brilliant. Borussia Dortmund are interested in Ajax goalkeeper. Andre Anua with only a year left of his current deal. However, he's banned for 12 months for testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. He's Ajax set to appeal the decision, but so we should hear about that in the coming weeks. Very random. PSG star Mbappe is desperate for a move to Real Madrid, according to former teammate Jesse. Real Madrid should consider selling Eden Hazard, according to former Bulgarian striker Dimitar Berbatov. Gonzalo Pella has joined Parma from Chinese club Shanghai.
Good player,
mate. He had that 2 seasons at Southampton where he smashed it, and then went to China. I was just like, what are you doing?
Shocked.
Oh, it stunned me, mate. But he was a great signing for Southampton. English defender Ryan Shawcross has held talks with the club to cancel his contract so he can join Inter Miami. And that is it. That is it for another week. Thank you very much, everyone. All right. The transfer window's shut. But as we said, there's still
we keep on working.
Still plenty going on. Should potentially have some really good guests on soon. Keep you posted on that. Speaking to a couple of different people they're going to be working with. Go and check out Footed Up on Twitter. Really, really good page for any FIFA fans. You can learn how to trade cards and stuff like that. Get involved in that if you're into FIFA. So really, really good channel, that one. Thank you for everyone who joined us tonight. Obviously, Peter G, Gareth Lewis, Mihai. How you doing, Mihai? Good to hear you back. Oliver, how you doing, Oliver? Good to have you back. Make sure you press the like and subscribe button. Algorithms and all that. You know what I mean? It's boring, but press the like button. It lets YouTube know that you're into the transfer market, the transfer news. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Go and follow these guys. Go and give them a follow. Go and check out Nathan Ellington and Tom King. Thanks for coming on the show. Brilliant start to the show. Definitely have to get Tom back on again sometime soon. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Jerome.
Pleasure. Cheers, boys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yep. Cheers, Kieran. Thank you out there. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, here we are. All things Arsenal. You done it to me again. No, we don't play none of that rubbish in all things Arsenal. We don't play none of that rubbish in or outs. Huh? Shaking all about. Just leave that rubbish to the stupid games, mate. Was you in or out 2 weeks ago? Was you in or out on this nice run of games where Arsenal was smashing it up and moving up the league? Was you in or out in the first half against Wolves and absolutely dominated them? Like, put your in or outs away, people. Come on, get a grip. All right? No one's going in or out until sometime next season, if anything. So let's stop losing the plot and get with the program, because this in or out nonsense between our Arsenal fans is just stupid. You're just going to stress me out. I'm going to end up starting another show in a week just to shout at you lot. All right? Wind me up. All right. For the rest of the people out there, thanks for joining us. Yeah? Really appreciate the support. Show's growing. We've had some great guests on. I know you lot have enjoyed them. I've had some personal messages from people saying top guest, top show. We keep on doing it. All we ask is you to smash the like button and tell people to subscribe. That's it. That's all we ask. Thank you very much for joining us, people. Peace out. Stay safe. Oh, gosh, I need to find that.